Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what's happening here with these Venezuelan gangs. It's very important. They're taking over apartment complexes in Colorado. Of course, it was called racist and fake, but it's neither of those things. Now, the landlord was forced to sell the apartment complexes. Colorado landlord Zev Baumgarten has now agreed to sell or dispose of the Aspen Grove apartment complex in Aurora after it was overrun by violent Venezuelan migrants and the gang Tren de Aruga. Sounds like a cartoon. Aruga. That's what it sounds like to me, but it's not that. Please don't cut my head off. Leading to its closure and the eviction of 300 residents. The city of Aurora, Colorado, they've been grappling with increased crime and gang activity, which residents attributed to its proximity to Denver's sanctuary city policies. The governor there is like, this is fine. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
Number 6.
After the shooter in Georgia, you've been following this story, obviously. After the shooter in Georgia was allegedly bullied over LGBTQ issues, which is becoming a trend, his father said that that's one of the reasons why he did this. His mother got a text message saying, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. She called the school 30 minutes before all this went down and had a 10-minute conversation about what was could potentially happen there. So you have all these red flags ahead of time, and you had red flags immediately ahead of time. Now, one thing I do love is we're seeing a lot of support for my plan to charge parents over stuff like this, and you're seeing a lot of people pushing for that, not just conservative talk shows. You have the show hosted by Charlemagne the God, which people on news channels love this guy. His callers are now saying charge the parents with crime.
Number 5.
Vice President Kamala Harris is basically just lying about everything. That don't worry about it, though, but it's a smart political strategy, Bernie Sanders will tell you. No, it's good. The lying is good. Yeah, Vice President Kamala Harris is just lying about her record, according to United States Senator Bernie Sanders, an independent from Vermont, who defended Vice President Kamala Harris's recent policy shifts, suggesting she is just being pragmatic to win the election. She hasn't abandoned her progressive ideals, which Kamala Harris has kind of said as well. Remember when she said, my values have not changed, which means I'm lying. Like, I'm just lying here. Sanders not the only one doing this. On NBC's Meet the Press, U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock, Democrat out of Georgia, supported Harris's previous mandatory gun confiscation and declared she would continue pushing that if elected. So don't worry, guys. She's just lying. Vote for Harris.
Number 4.
Bad news is coming from the media and their Democrats after a New York judge delayed former President Trump's sentencing in a hush money case until after the 2024 election. Democrats, of course, the bad news is that the nation is lawless. No consequences for anyone anymore. And like I said, the media and their Democrats are so upset about this. Former President Donald Trump also, for those who need to know that it's bad news for media and their Democrats, 48-47 lead over Vice President Kamala Harris among likely voters, according to a New York Times poll. If he's up 48-47 nationally in a New York Times poll, holy cow, he must be killing it in these swing states. The momentum is back to Donald Trump. You've seen this. The predictors over the last couple of weeks have been saying, look, Trump is in a pretty good spot. And now the debate is going to happen tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun.
Number 3.
Just kidding. It will suck. As the United States Senator, Tommy Tuberville has been very outspoken on issues of ballot security and pushing for a secure election. And he's advocating for that because, well, this is a real issue. Our friends in the media, they're Democrats, who may have used that term here today, they're worried that Donald Trump's out there saying he's going to prosecute people for voter fraud. It's a very weird thing to be upset about. It's like someone saying, we're going to put gay people in jail, and somebody standing up and goes, they shouldn't do that. I don't want to go to jail. It's like, are you gay? No, not me. I mean, that's essentially the same thing. Like, a stuck pig squeals. And here they are saying this kind of stuff. Well, these same people, They want to keep Robert F. Kennedy on certain ballots. They want to remove him from others, depending on what day it is. It's now delayed what's going on in North Carolina. Their ballots are supposed to be on their way to people. That hasn't happened yet. And Democrats are calling that disenfranchisement. Interesting.
Number 2.
A report from the House Foreign Affairs Committee accuses the Biden administration of prioritizing optics over safety during the 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal, blaming mismanagement for the deaths of U.S. service members. House Democrats on the Foreign Affairs Committee released a memo defending President Biden's 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal. Yeah, that's right. They then came. So there's a report that says they really bungled this, and Democrats are like, no, we did fine. It was Donald Trump's fault. Yeah. So it's Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump made the deal, and us Democrats, we just had to do everything Donald Trump said, which might make sense now. I mean, the argument makes sense, like, now that they're running on the wall and things like that. I mean, they have to do everything Donald Trump says. That's why they continued building the wall and stopped all the... Oh, wait, they didn't do any of that. They stopped plenty of Donald Trump's policies, but for some reason, this one was the one policy they could not stop. They had to continue on with this Afghanistan withdrawal. It's all Trump's fault.
Time for the number one thing you'll be talking about today.
This is happening in Athens and in Albertville and in Coleman and Sylacauga, which we've been talking about the Sylacauga side of this for a while. But now we're starting to see a little national attention coming to this issue. A Sylacauga City Council meeting last week ended abruptly after about 20 minutes when residents dared to speak to their elected officials about their concerns on the recent arrivals of Haitian immigrants, questioning their legal status and their impact on the community. Now, their legal status is not really in doubt. They appear to be legal citizens. They appear to be legal immigrants, meaning they showed up at the border. The Border Patrol, I always act this out, so I'll do it again. The Border Patrol said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And they said, "Asylum." And the Border Patrol said, "You son of a bitch, get in here. Get in here. We're sending you to Alabama and everything's going to be fine." And that's exactly what they did. Governor Kay Ivey said they have received zero facts or communication from the federal government on these matters. Council President Tiffany Nix cut the meeting short, stating there was no reason to investigate or treat people differently based on appearance, which nobody suggested we should treat them differently based on their appearance. The individual she cut off was saying, "Hey, we just want to know why they're coming here and whether there's anything we can do about this to make this a less appealing place for mountains of immigrants," which is a completely fair thing to do. Does the Sylacauga school system have French Creole interpreters? I don't think they do. But Council President Tiffany Nix cut the meeting short, saying we can't do this. But look, this is an issue. Okay? State Representative Ben Robbins, Republican of Sylacauga, is now pressing the Department of Homeland Security for answers regarding widespread concerns raised by the residents there. In a letter to Alejandro Mayorkas, Robinson's criticized the agency's lack of communication, citing fears over the community's ability to support an influx of migrants and demanding transparency on the policies and procedures behind the relocation. I think that's a completely fair thing to ask as a community is being overrun by illegal immigrants. Oh, they're not being overrun. You can scream, you can claim, you can cry. That's fine. But understand this. There are people concerned about this, and they have every right to be concerned about this. And you can tell them to shut up. You can tell them not to be concerned. You can tell them they're wrong. And I will repeat this to you every single day. That is not going to make people feel better. That is only going to make people think that their government doesn't work for them. It works for everyone else. And that's exactly what it looks like here. So local municipalities, y'all better get your act together. No one's suggesting you brought people here or you want them here or any of this stuff. But this whole thing where you're like, oh, citizens, you need to shut up. This is just a way of life. I don't think that's going to be something that placates people. We'll continue talking about this, obviously, as the story unfolds. We'll continue getting you involved as well. It's all very simple for you to get in here. 866-494-WVNN. That's the free speech phone lines. You can jump in right there. You can also get in on the scoutpestcontrol.com WVNN hot take text line. You can jump in right there at 866-494-WVNN. Get your questions in for 10 with him at the end of the program. Jay Town coming up here in just a bit. Can't wait to have him on the program with us. We got a lot to discuss with him as we did on Friday as well. But keep it locked right here, folks. It is the Dale Jackson Show on WVNN.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 Things You Should Be Talking About Today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.